Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the Create Bootcamp. Today, we're going to be talking about rest. And maybe not rest in the way that you're thinking about sleep and things like that. But I'm going to give you some tips today. I'm going to give you some ways to rest. I'm going to give you some ideas, maybe some books. I'm going to show you some artwork today, too. So, have a lot to pack into probably about the next 35 to 40 minutes is kind of what I'm planning on for today. So give yourself this time to focus by turning off your phone, grabbing a notebook, some kind of a notebook that you can take some notes in. There might be some quotes, some things that you want to remember, some takeaways that you'll want to share later on. Have something to write with the notebook. If you have created your little pocket journal, here's my other one that I created, your pocket journal. You can have that and have your note cards ready because yesterday I had a challenge for anybody who watched yesterday and anybody who participated in the challenge inside of my Creative Business Owner Basics group. That is my group where we're going to be sharing during this boot camp, these 6 days of sharing the 6 foundational practices of that word create. So today we're going to be talking about the R, which is rest. Yesterday was community. If you did not catch the video yesterday, it is here on my page, pinned up to the top. So it's at the top of my page here. I also have it on YouTube, which I don't think that I mentioned yesterday. And when I am finished with all 6 of the videos, they will all 6 be over on YouTube as well. So I didn't go over and check YouTube to make sure that it was there yesterday, but it should be day 1 over on YouTube and day 2 is streaming today. So give yourself this time to just notice some things maybe that I'm sharing today that maybe you've never heard before and maybe you've never thought about. And maybe even this next 35 to 40 minutes is going to be your time to rest. I would love to know, I put in the little banner down here at the bottom, where are you watching from today? Where are you watching this video from today? And give me an idea in the comments. Like, how do you feel, like on a scale from 1 to 10? Like, how rested are you today, or just like in general? How rested are you? Hey there, Teresa. I see Teresa popping on there, so I'll pull your little your little comment up there. Give me an idea where you are kind of in your level of restfulness, your level of rest. I would love to be able to know. Robin says she's at a pool. Now that's nice, Robin. All of a sudden, like all of your comments came in. It was like they were delayed. So Cheryl's watching from Minnesota. Diane's watching from Texas, and she says she's not rested at all. Diane, I'm going to give you some tips today about how to rest. Not to do with sleep necessarily, because that is actually the very last part of the 6 different foundational practices is E for evening routine. So today is all about rest. And I would love to know how rested you feel, because honestly, I was going to talk about a couple of different things today. And when I posted this morning about this being about rest, I had someone comment pretty quickly. And she said, rest? What is that? And it made me kind of think about how often as a creative person, we don't rest in a lot of ways. And I want to talk about that today because I think that it is important. It's beyond important. Like, it's necessary that you rest. We talk about 3 different ways to rest inside of my Create course. I'm going to give you kind of some tips today and some ideas about resting, maybe in a different way than you have thought about. So Cheryl says she's probably at an 8 or 9. That's pretty good. So Terry's watching from couch in Virginia. I love that. So you're rested because you don't have the energy. So tomorrow is all about energy. So Terry definitely needs to watch tomorrow. So when I think, before we get started talking about rest, tell me if you watched yesterday. Tell me if you watched Community yesterday, because I saw in my CBOB group, I was going to pull up over here, there were several people who decided to take on the challenge that I had given at the end of the video yesterday. One was to share your takeaway in the video, making 2 new connections per day. Whether you are a business owner, a creative business owner, or you just want to connect with people, because that's one of our basic needs, is to connect with people. And we're around people quite a bit, right? That was one of the things, was to connect with 2 people. And while you are, I see a lot of people saying that they watched yesterday, and Teresa said she didn't get the poster card. That's okay. Maybe you can post it today. Oh, it's not pulling up your, there it goes. You didn't get a chance to post your card. That's okay. I did have several people decide to take the challenge, and they posted their note card with maybe their takeaway on there. This was one of mine that I was thinking about, to maintain and sustain consistency by connecting with 2 people per day. That's been my goal since I started my business, to grow and to connect with people and to build relationships, is just 2 per day. So I had lots of people in the group share their takeaways, and I had a couple of people share on their note card, a couple of people shared on notebook paper, a couple of people actually shared their little pocket journal along with their card. And I want to pick a winner, because I said yesterday that I would pick one winner. Today, I'm going to actually pick 2 winners, and I will tell you what the prize is later for today. But the one winner that I just chose randomly. I didn't choose according to how cute their little pocket folder or how they wrote their takeaway or anything like that. It was just very random. And the person that I picked today, I have not noticed whether she was on here live yet, but I picked Nilda Galarza. So if you know Nilda, if you want to go ahead and put the @ and let her know. She may be watching, and I just hadn't seen her name there. I see a lot of people sharing their takeaways, and Teresa said she connected with 2 new painters last night. They were a blast to get to know. That's awesome. I saw Ria said that she connected with a friend yesterday, new friend, and she's creative. So that is awesome. So Cheryl says that she connected with different people on Zoom today, that completely out of her circle. That is awesome. So there's all kinds of different ways to connect, different people to connect with. 2 per day is actually it's doable, right? You're able to maintain that. You can sustain that. So Nilda, congratulations. I am going to schedule with Nilda an audit. Well, I'm going to do the audit and record it, and then I'm going to get it to Nilda. And basically, it's an audit of her Facebook page so that she can optimize it in order to be able to connect with people. If you would be interested in one of those audits, will you put in the comments? Because I've had other people ask me about this, and I didn't know if it was something that people would find value in having that, more than just me giving it away as a prize today. So let me know in the comments if a Facebook audit of your business page would be valuable to you. So I see a lot of people can, oh, Nilda is here. Very good. Nilda, I will probably before the end of the boot camp, I will record a Zoom with the audit of your page. And I'll give you at least 3 different tips about how to optimize your page so that you can more easily connect with people. Do you guys hear my dog again? Like 3 o'clock in the afternoon is like his perfect time to bark, I think. So I'm not, the mailman's already went by, but maybe he's coming back down the other side of the street. So yeah. Yeah. I see some people like giving little hearts for Dudley there. So, oh, very good. So Diane says that she would love an audit. Teresa, hey there, Robin. Angel says she'd love an audit. Very good. I will think about how exactly to do that. If you are not in CBOB, which is my Creative Business Owner Basics group, let me go ahead and put that up here. Just comment CBOB, and then that way I can know to get you the link to be able to be in there, because that's where we're putting the challenges. That's where everybody's sharing those. So, oh, very good. I see a lot of people saying that they would like an audit like that. Very good. Get over into CBOB, and I'll think on that a little bit. So let's go ahead and talk about rest. And I want to give you a couple of tips today, a couple of ways to rest, and why it's important as a creative to rest. What do you think the definition of rest is? You know what? Yesterday, I told you that I looked up the 7 different benefits of community, and several of you said that that was very helpful to have those things kind of in a list and just like realize what the benefits of community are. And I told you that I used AI to be able to know, instead of me coming up with those 7 different things or Googling or whatever. So I am going to ask AI what is the definition? I have to like read it out loud so that of burnout. Because here's the thing. If you don't rest, you can tell me if you think that this is true or not. I've found it to be true. If you don't make the time to rest, you will burn out. You will get to the point where you feel stuck because you're burned out, because you have tried to do too much. And that's what kind of hit me when that person answered earlier, like, rest, what is that? It made me think that all of the activity, all of the hustling, all of the doing of things, if you don't make the time to rest, you'll get burned out. And I think that that is one of the ways it keeps you stuck moving forward in your business, moving forward with goals, moving forward with things that you need to do. How can you tell when you're burned out? I would love to know in the comments. How can you tell when you are feeling burned out, when you know that you need to rest? Sue, I'm so glad that you're working on Thumbelina. Sue had mentioned before, and while you're putting some of those comments about how you know if you are burned out, how you know that you need to rest, I will go ahead and show you. You may have seen I had just posted, I took some time to rest today, because doing these videos 6 days out of 8, and I did 2 videos yesterday, that takes a lot of energy. And we're going to talk about energy tomorrow. So I am very intentional during this boot camp to make time to rest. And during this time period, there is a taster week that is extended this week. And there are 18 different lessons, I believe. And I took time to rest today. And I painted Thumbelina. So that's what Sue said that she was working on. And I can't wait to see yours, Sue. So I see Cheryl says that she is frustrated, overwhelmed, and she has a short fuse. That's definitely a sign that you need some rest. You are easily agitated, right? You have that short fuse even with people that you like being around, that you love to be around. So Teresa said that she's bad at recognizing burnout early, so you have to schedule time to stay. I think that's a perfect thing to do, is actually schedule that time. I scheduled that time today to work on that Thumbelina and just take time to rest. Rest, to me, and I'm going to look at the definition over here. Rest to me is about keeping my peace. Rest is about the intention of me quieting my mind. It is about sleep, and that is important, but rest you can do at any time during the day. You can take rest. And protecting your peace, protecting that quietness, is something that is a practice. And these 6 foundational practices are ways to be able to practice that. I don't call them concepts. I don't call them, it's a framework of these foundational practices so that you can really be the best person that you can be. These 6 foundational practices. So whether you're in a business, whether you are, working a full-time job, whatever it is, these 6 practices will help with that. So the rest practice, it does take practice to learn to be still, to learn to be quiet, to learn not to always consume. That is me. That is me always wanting to consume because I love to learn. But what happens, and I saw some of your comments in here. Oh, Debbie, I love regenerate, rebuild, and rescope. That's good. I like anytime I can have like some kind of alliteration like that so I can remember things is always better. Right? So, Teresa, we'll have to come back to that. She said that guilt is so common. Yeah. So I see some people commenting some things to rest my mind. I read or exercise. I love that. Maria says she's a consumption monster. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Cheryl says it's about the analogy of putting on your own oxygen mask. So that is why rest is so important. And I know that it sounds counterintuitive to rest when you have so many things to do and you have so many obligations. And Teresa commented about guilt, but you are able to do all the things that you would like to do and still have the energy to be able to do them if. And I'm gonna tell you about this if word here. If you choose what it is that you're going to do. So I don't think burnout comes from having too many things to do. You can say that you don't believe that. I don't think that burnout comes from having too many things to do. Do you know what I feel like it comes from? And I'm going to read what AI said over here. I think that it comes from not prioritizing the things that you need to do. That's why you get burned out. And rest, the reason that you need to rest is so that you can get to know yourself. You can get to know who you are, the things that you like, the things that give you energy, which we'll talk about tomorrow, the things that bring you energy that are life-giving, I guess is the word that I want to say. And by knowing who you are, who you were created to be, allows you to say yes to the things that you need to say yes to and no to the things that you don't need to do. And I think that that's where a lot of the burnout comes from, is we say yes to too many things. That's me too. We say yes to too many things. So I want to give you a couple of ways that you can really quickly rest. And the first one is going to sound so easy, but yet I think sometimes we forget. And it can be very quick. It can be in that moment when you are knowing that like you're going to lose your temper, when you're on that short fuse, when you're feeling just overwhelmed. You know kind of when that's coming on a little bit. For me, it's like an anxiousness almost. It's like I know that I've consumed too much and become overwhelmed. I know that I need to go eat. I know I can feel that like little bit of like anxiousness. So here's the first way that you can just really quickly go from feeling stuck and and overwhelmed and frustrated and whatever it is because you haven't rested. A very easy way to reset your nervous system is to just breathe. And I know that sounds very simple. We do that all day long, but taking an intentional breath, breathing with intention. And usually that means a count of 4 breathing in and a count of 4 breathing out. So I, in the past couple of weeks, have been trying to consistently walk. Tell me if you are a walker, like you try to get in your 10,000 steps. I would love to know if you're one of those. I haven't gotten up to the 10,000 steps yet. Partly it's because I don't have the right kind of shoes. So, hey there, Crystal. Oh, Renee, I love this. Burnout comes from not finding joy. And that's going to lead into the third different way that I'm going to talk to you about. Not finding joy in the things. That's really good. I'm going to tell you what AI says over here. Burnout is a state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion. Mental, emotional, and physical. So you get all 3 when you feel burnout. Caused by prolonged stress, overworking, and I did not plan this, I swear, lack of rest. It says it right there. So that is what it said about burnout. Can be categorized into 4 types. Ooh, I'm going to read to you these 4 types. Somebody type these up in the comments there. Overload burnout, under-challenged burnout. That's a good one. Neglect burnout, and habitual burnout. Somebody type these up because these are really good. Overload burnout, under-challenged burnout. That one surprises me. Neglect burnout, and then habitual burnout. Those are really good. It also says it can be caused by workplace stress, parenting, caretaking, romantic relationships, and can lead to feelings of cynicism, depression, and I always forget how to say this. Lethargy? Is that how you, like, really tired? Like, I think that's how you say it. So those are really good. Brenda says she's good as she gets over 2,000 steps. So, oh, Cheryl, that makes me, I know that you're a walker. So even that you don't get the 10,000 steps. So burnout, an easy way. I did not look that up before we were going to be talking about rest. But if you can breathe, that is definitely one way to be able to kind of reset your nervous system. The second way that I want to tell you about is a way that do I have a, let me think. Oh, here, the second way is the one that I was thinking about that goes along with the joy. So I have taught this in a couple of different ways. And actually the ladies who just went to the Create retreat, with me on Anna Maria Island in May, they learned this as an X factor moment. And last year it was a what did I do last year? It was an anchor moment. Basically, this is kind of a 5-step way to be able to kind of de-stress and to be able to relax and be able to be present and be able to reset your nervous system. So I think of it as just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you maybe this is something for your note card here. Just saying, it might be a takeaway. So the 5 stands for 5 things that you look around and see. The 4 is 4 things that you can be able to touch, I think is the next one. I have to remember the order. The 3 is 3 things that you can be able to hear. The 2 is 2 things that you can smell, and then 1 thing to taste. So if you go through those 5 things really quickly and be present, that is a quick, it takes about 3 minutes maybe to kind of do all of those things. That's a quick way to kind of reset your nervous system. So, hey there, Laura. Oh, Robin, let me read them again. The overload burnout, the under-challenged burnout, the neglect burnout, and then habitual burnout. I'll have to even look up exactly what that one means. So the other way that I wanted to tell you about that is a little bit longer, I'm not going to go through the full way to just relax, but it's a Tony Robbins, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know who that is attributed to. It's just a de-stress thing that I've learned over the years with reading books and listening to podcasts and all of the consuming, right? But it has been really helpful. The Tony Robbins one is a little bit longer, and I'm sure that you can go look up on a YouTube and be able to go through his entire process of going through and closing your eyes and more or less like meditating, but you're just spending time thinking about a joyful moment. You're thinking about a grateful moment, something that you're grateful for. You're thinking about a moment that you have a lot of pride in, of something that you did well. And when you're thinking about all of these things, you kind of have in mind beforehand, you identify something that's bringing you stress, that's causing you stress. And then when you go through those different things, a joyful moment, a grateful moment, Dudley is barking again. A grateful moment, a moment where you're proud, then you kind of come back to that thing that is causing you stress, and you just have a different mindset around it. On Friday, we're going to be talking about thoughts, which is the T there in Create, and I'll teach you some different ways to be able to kind of like a mindset to keep in mind. But as you go through those things, then you can come back to that stressful moment. A lot of these things are really just about being still, right? Being still, being in the moment, finding joy, like Renee was saying, like in the things, taking the time to notice and be aware of those things. I think that that's why we get burned out. I think that that's why we don't feel rested, is we don't take that time to be able to do that. Laura says that the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is Mel Robbins. She does do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like just do something. This one I just kind of name, it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because it's the 5 senses. So yeah. Oh, does she tell you to count backwards? Is that what it is? So Teresa, it's basically the 5 senses. So it's 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can like touch or feel like on your body. Like I even think about like being out in nature, the wind, you know, that's something that's touching my body, or things that I can touch. 3 is 3 things that you can hear. 2 is 2 things you can smell, and then something that you eat or taste. Or, you know, if you're at the ocean, you can like taste the the salty, saltiness of the air sometimes. So any of those kinds of things will bring you to being present and will reset your nervous system. So let me think about some of the other things that I was going to tell you about too. So, oh, is that right, Cheryl? I had never read it like that, like they're experiencing it, because it brings them to the present, right? So that's really interesting. All of these things are something that will just make you feel more rested. I will also say, and I mentioned before, doing artwork is also another one. If you are experiencing a lot of stress, schedule some time to be creative just by yourself. I don't even turn on music. I don't even turn on music when I'm creating because I just want like my time with my thoughts and just me thinking about my artwork. And it does make me feel very rested. And it's not because I finished the piece of artwork, but the practice of creating, the practice of exploring ways things work, just the slowness, that like slowing down and being able to do that. If you don't have scheduled time where you're creating, part of the reason why I really like this Kaleidoscope Taster Week is it forces me and holds me accountable to having some creative time. I would love to know in the comments if you actually take time to be creative just for yourself. Do you make that time to be creative just for yourself? Maybe the reason that you're not feeling as restful is because you haven't scheduled that time to be creative, right? So, sometimes I have to watch on my phone instead of on the computer, and I don't know why that is. So, yeah. Crystal, I know that it's difficult to make the time to be able to do that, but I have found in the past year and a half, especially, taking that time for myself makes me a better person. It makes me more interesting because then I have this artwork to talk about and to share about, and it's something completely unrelated to my business. And I also feel like it's during those times when I'm creating that I get those aha moments. And if you are not taking the time to rest, to be still, to just listen to kind of your own thoughts, you're not leaving the space and the time to be able to allow those things to come in. The entire Create course came about in those types of moments. It came about in the moments when I was in my morning time, which you'll learn about on day 4, which is the AM routine. It came about because I just allowed that quiet time to have those things come together. And it never would have happened if I wouldn't have taken that time to rest and to be open to, even though I had a lot of things to do, even though I had a business, even though I had obligations, even though I do feel that guilt that that Teresa, I think it was talking about, I still made time because I know that it's important to be still and to rest. And part of that walking is that restful time. And even though I'm doing something active, right? But it's that time of rest when I'm not hustling, when I'm not doing things, right? So I have a challenge for you for tomorrow. And I would like for you, if you have your little pocket journal, not pocketbook. Pocketbook, isn't that like the old kind of term for like a purse? I think my grandma used to call it a pocketbook. So your pocket journal. If you have your pocket journal, you can take out your little note card there. And I would like for you to put in the comments a takeaway. What's a takeaway from today about rest? Something that surprised you, something that maybe you didn't think about before. Maybe it was a new technique about slowing down, remembering to breathe. What was it, a takeaway from today about rest that will help you to be a better creative person, whether you own a business or not? Is it taking the time to be creative? Is it scheduling that time? What is your takeaway for today? You can put that in the comments here in the video. You can also take it and put it in on your note card for your little pocket journal. And I would like for you to post that inside of CBOB. Remember, if you are not in CBOB, go ahead and comment CBOB so that I can get that link to you. If you search CBOB, it comes up because that's in the title of the name of the group. But in that group, I'd like for you to share with the hashtag Create625. Hashtag Create625. No spaces in there. It has to be all together so that when I click on that hashtag, it will pull up all of the ones in the group. But I'd like for you to comment with that hashtag and Create625. And on your note card, put your takeaway. So that is the first part of the challenge. The second part of the challenge is to comment in this video on other people, because we talked about yesterday with community, part of community is encouragement. And I see it's telling me 12 of you are live right now. I consider these 12 people, whenever I go live, whoever's coming on, that's the community of people who are watching. And we talked about yesterday being encouraging and supportive. So I'd like for you to find 3 people to comment on the video here about their takeaways, about something that they said, maybe something in the video. So comment on 3 people in the video. And then I would like for you, you can put this in the video too if you want. I would like for you to make a list of the things that you can do to rest. Try to come up with at least 5. Come up with at least 5. If you want to post this with your note card in CBOB, you can do that. You can put it here in the video. I'd like for you to make a list of at least 5 things that you can do specifically for you that bring you rest. What are those 5 things? Because you need to know what they are. You need to know what they are ahead of time so that you can know when you're feeling unrested, when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling burned out. You need to know what those things are so that you can refer to that list and you can be able to do some of those things. Pick one that's on the list. So comment, well, let me do them in order. Do a takeaway, put it on your little note card, and you can post it inside of CBOB. Then I'd like for you to comment on 3 people's comments here in the video. Just encourage them, be a support for them. Maybe you reach out to them individually, comment on, something they've said in the video. And then the last thing is to make yourself a list of 5 things that you can do to be able to rest. And I really feel like this is important, even though, it's only day 2 of the boot camp. And I don't think normally in a boot camp they're resting very much, right? They have a certain time that they, actually sleep. They don't rest, I don't think, very much during the day at all. Maybe for meal times, maybe that's about their only rest. But anyway, rest is important, and it's important for you to know these things ahead of the other 4 practices. So make a list of those 5 things. You can post it in the group. You can put it here on the video. And oh, good. I love that you were putting some ideas in there. Very good. I'm not going to pull them all up. So, and I will leave you with this until tomorrow. We're going to talk about energy. The video will be at 3:00 Eastern here on Creations of Studio 39. I will send out a text reminder. If you're not on my text list for my business page, when I go live, just put text in the comments there and I will make sure and get that to you. but I'll send out a text right before the video goes live for tomorrow. And I want you to remember this, that as you take action, inspired action is what I like to call it, even towards rest, is the quicker that you will be able to create a life that you love. So with that little reminder, I will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock for day three at 3 o'clock tomorrow for the energy day of boot camp. So thanks for showing up today, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.